What is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video. So, in case you missed last week's video, pause this video, go check it out, and then come check out this video, because what I have planned for today is I want to go over and talk a little bit about my new car, my 1988 Porsche 944 Turbo. I want to talk about what I have planned for the car, where I got the car, and ultimately the reason why I even got it, because I mean, it's a pretty big difference when compared to the F10. It's a completely different car, and I don't just mean the brand of the car, just the type of car it is and the reason for this car versus why I have the F10. I want to go over all that in today's video, and yeah, let's hop right into it. All right, I want to warn you now, if you're not into all of like the rambling and just kind of going a little bit off topic, I totally get it. Feel free to click off the video. But if you are into just hearing about, you know, all things automotive and the passion for the automotive industry and just all things cars, I'm gonna ramble a little bit, as I kind of want to talk about like my backstory and how I even ended up here in the first place. So I started driving about 10 years ago, and my very first car was a 1987 BMW E30, and I love that car. But back then I didn't know a lot about cars. A lot of YouTube DIYs and stuff, but every car after that has been a BMW. I'm a long time BMW enthusiast. I am passionate about the brand. I love what they do, and I love their cars. I've had one E30, three E36s, a Z3 Coupe non-M, and an E90 M3, all before the F10 here. What does any of that have to do with buying this Porsche? Well, throughout the years, as I've sort of grown in my career and started making more money and stuff, I've been able to kind of build these cars better and better and more to how I like want them to be, more towards like my dream of like building them the way I want to. Back in the day when I, had my first few cars, I was only really working like part-time. I wasn't making a lot of money, and being someone who's passionate about the automotive industry and all things cars, I had a really high, like, I don't know, like aspirations you can call it, but not the money to support it. And so as the years have gone on and I've slowly made more money and I've learned more about cars and I'm able to take on bigger and more gnarly projects, I've been able to build these cars in ways that I wasn't able to in the past. And so up in recent years, I've had tons of like really fun driver's cars. I've had my E36 M3 that I ended up wide bodying. I had a really well sorted Z3 Coupe. I wish I didn't get rid of that one, but it is what it is. And then after that, I had an E90 M3, which was such a fun car. All of which were way better platforms than the F10 when it comes to just like driving the car, if that makes sense. Like the F10, in my opinion, now that I've owned it for as long as I've owned it, is more geared towards like cruising and comfortable driving and like long road trips. And I think unless you have like even just a 550, but I'd say like a built 550 or an M5 of that platform, you can't really squeeze out of that chassis what you could in a more nimble like E36 M3, Z3, E90 M3. And when I picked the F10 up, I kind of had the goal in mind of buying whatever parts I needed to buy in order to make that car drive the way that those cars were more suited for. I love back road driving. I love spirited driving and stuff. And don't get me wrong, like the F10, you can make fast. You could do things to make it very quick. But the car is a boat. There's no question about it. The car is huge. It weighs a lot. And I don't think I can get out of it what I was originally planning when I bought it. And so I wasn't necessarily looking for another car. I was going to continue building the F10. And I'm not done with the F10, but back in November, truthfully, I wasn't looking for another car, but, funny thing, you don't really plan things in life sometimes, and I just kind of stumbled across this chassis, probably on Instagram, I want to say, and I've always liked them. I've always liked the 944s. I always thought they looked really cool. I think there's old cars, man, just like have my heart. I think the new cars are cool, but old cars just are so much more classic, and they're so much more in my opinion, well designed. They're fun. Anyways, I ended up kind of, searching the classifieds just for fun, just to see what was out there. And I found this one in Arizona. I found this 944 Turbo in Arizona. And after some back and forth talk with that owner, the car had pretty good history. It has a ton of miles, but it's a clean title. A lot of things on the car have been redone. It's been repainted. The whole interior's been like redone, so it's like really nice. It's not like old feeling. The dash has been repaired. They're prone to cracking. It has brand new suspension, tires, brakes. Some engine work has been done to it, so I felt comfortable, and I shot the guy an offer, and then I, not even a week later, drove all the way out to Arizona and picked the car up and brought it here. And it wasn't until I picked the car up and was driving home that I realized just how much this car does for me what the F10 doesn't. And by that, I mean that this car, the 944, is just through and through a driver's car. The F10, again, like I said, it's a fun car, but I think it's more geared towards like commuting and like daily driving. And this Porsche, when it was designed in the 80s, is geared for driving. It's geared for like back roads, track. I mean, if you're unaware with this model, it has a near 50-50 weight distribution from front to rear, because it's a front engine rear transaxle car, which means that the transmission and differential is in the back of the car rather than attached to the motor in the front of the car. So when I was bringing it home, and I had to drive it like 5 hours home, it was like a 300-mile trip from my house, it just immediately like checked off the box for a car that I can drive and enjoy driving. Like, it's a car meant to be driven, in the sense that it's meant to be, going through corners, and it's meant to be like driven like, sort of on a track. And the F10 just can't do that for me. So I got it home, and I've been so excited and just like eager to drive this car. But unfortunately, it not being from California, I had to get it California legal. And before you guys rip on me for living in California, I get it, man. I know they're so strict here, and it sucks being a car enthusiast and not being able to do all the fun stuff. But regardless, it took me a couple months, but I got it squared away. I got it to pass smog, and I have it legal. It's a clean running car, and I just couldn't be more stoked to have it in my possession. And I'm so stoked to like document the build here on YouTube for you guys. So I'm really hoping that you guys are excited as I am to see that process happen. All right, that was a lot of talking, but now I want to briefly just touch on like what I want to do with the car now that I have it. So I go back and forth, man. Like I said kind of in the beginning, that I have really high aspirations. Like, being a car enthusiast, there's a lot of things I want to do. And unfortunately, I'm kind of limited by where I'm at currently. Like, this isn't my house, and the person who owns this house isn't very fond of really gnarly like car things happening in here, sadly. So unfortunately, like, if it were up to me and I had the place, I'd pull the motor out, I'd build the motor. I don't know if you guys know this or not, and I'm not like trying to say that I'm like professional at all things, but I am a certified ASE master technician, so I know cars. I'm not scared to tackle jobs like that, and if I could, I would, but unfortunately I can't. And so for now, I think what I want to do, until I can get to a point where I could really like build a car, like really do some gnarly stuff, I think I just want to get it like super dialed. I want to get some good wheels on it, maybe some more meat on there, maybe get some coilovers, because I mean, it's on good brand new, like I think they're Coney yellows or something. But I wouldn't mind upgrading the suspension, maybe lowering it just a little bit, and then maybe adding a couple things to like just get it dialed. And then I just want to enjoy driving it. Might do some like cosmetic mods. It's pretty clean, and I like the way it looks, and there's not a lot to do without like really like tearing the car up, like wide body and doing aero and stuff, which I'd love to do, but again, like, I'm not in a position to really do a bunch of like really gnarly car things yet. And so for now, I think I'll just focus on getting this car like really dialed so I could take it on fun drives and document those for you guys. I think it'd be really cool to kind of do like POV driving stuff with the car and like get really cool like exhaust clips of me driving through the canyons and whatnot. I think it'll be really cool, because I think at least what I've seen since I've picked it up, like I think the 944 is kind of picking up traction again. I think it's getting more and more popular. I think more people are getting into them because they're still reasonably priced. And it's a Porsche, so like when it is running good and it's fixed up, it is a fun car and it's a really capable car. And so with that, I think new content is going to be coming out, and I think a lot of the stuff that is on YouTube right now is kind of old. There's not a lot of new stuff, and I think it'd be cool to kind of get new, fresh 944 content out there for you guys. So I'm really excited. I'm definitely going to take it 1 week at a time, similar to the F10. And the F10 isn't gone. Like, I'm not getting rid of it yet. I still have plans for the F10. If you are watching and you're an F10, subscriber or whatever, a fan of the F10, you came here before the Porsche. But I want to start diving into this. And every week, similar to the F10, what I was about to say is hopefully I could find some cool things to throw on there. I definitely wouldn't mind doing some like DIYs as I like fix things. I think it needs, I think it needs a new fuel pump. I think it needs, I need to fix the fuel lines up front. If you have a 944, you know about them. Just things like that. I'll be sure to document all of that stuff. But in the meantime, I think I'm going to be going back and forth. So don't expect too much of one car until I only have one car. But yeah, all that to say, I'm really excited. I'm really stoked to document this for you guys, and I hope whoever is subscribed to me enjoys the process because it's a new platform. I think I mentioned in the beginning, but I've only ever owned BMW project cars, and so this is a first for me to step out of the brand of BMW and kind of get into something new, and I'm really stoked that it's a Porsche. But anyways, this has been a lot of rambling, not a lot of cool car shots or DIY or installing parts, but if you made it here, I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. I'm so stoked on this car. I haven't been this stoked on a car in a really long time, and I'm excited to share it with you guys. I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.